Okay, hello everybody, this is Jerry again. Yesterday I worked on this piece right here, and now I'm done with it. I'm going to remove the tenon. I'm going to do a little bit more shaping to the bottom because I don't like the way it looks. But right now I'm going to make myself a jig that I can take and drop into here, or take and put this in and then go ahead and turn this tenon. So I'm going to do this one like this, that it requires me using the chuck plate. And I'm going to make another one that will not require me to use the chuck plate. And what I'm going to do is use a future turning. But right now I'll go ahead and set this one up because I'm just about ready for it. And of course I'm not as prepared as I would like to be, but yeah, you can't always win. So this is going to take a little bit of time shaping this. If I had another one that was more solid, I'm going to use this one because I can afford to do that. This other one, this one right here, I've already got a start for doing a different type of form, and I don't really want to waste it. Well, this one here, I can afford to lose the grooves. Now all my jigs that I have for that, they all fit the same chuck plate, so there's no issue with doing any of this stuff. Okay, that's running about as true can get. Okay, what I'm going to do is see what I have. What I want is this to be small enough. That looks pretty good. Let's see what happens. There we go. Every now and then I get a little bit smarter than the equipment. Okay, that's running pretty darn true. So since I have it there right now, I'm going to shape that bottom just a little bit. This foot is too big, so I'm going to take that down a little bit. I really don't have a whole lot to hang on to right here because of the way I made that tenon. I shifted, and that nub has left a step over here. But it's not an issue. Okay. I'm just a tad bit high. Don't want to be that high. There we go. Now I'm going to check what I did right here. And since I still have that nub there where the live center was, I just take it off and check it. Let's see how thick I really am. I'm close to a ½ inch right there, so that's good. That makes it kind of heavy, and that's good. Now what I'll do is bring this back up, put it back into place, and just screw the piece down into it. I don't have a good area there, but I wish I had. And I'm going to do a little bit on the OD shape. It's not exactly right. That looks pretty good. Oh. Okay, I'm going to remove most of that tenon, and then I'll stop and I'll bring up my wheels. Oh, wait a minute, I can't do that, because I was trying to do an alternate method. I'll fix that on the other piece that I'm going to make. Okay, this is one of them that I use, and all I did was take my jam chuck, or no, this is a plug. It goes inside, so plug. So I made my plug. That's a waste piece from some MDF work that I do, and oh shit. Anyway, as soon as I can find my chuck key, I'll have to use the second one that I have in here. I'll have to look for that chuck key. Boy, I'm going to have to get back into the habit of tightening these things. This wasn't tight at all. It was just there. I got to find that other chuck key. I don't see it anywhere. But the next piece that I'm going to use is going to be a piece of solid wood, and it's a piece of wood that I haven't mounted yet because it's got a big old crack in it, and I didn't think I really wanted to try to take my time out to make a bowl out of it. So instead I'm going to make a jig. This thing's probably in my pocket. Oh, I see it. It's over here by the camera. No wonder. That's the last place I try to look. I don't need to see my ugly self. Just kind of spooky when you do see it, you know. I sure hope this microphone is working. It shows it's doing something. Okay, this one's going to go back up here, and that one goes back up there. Let's make sure I'm tight. Okay, it's tight. I have a mesquite blank that I started a long time ago, and what I'm going to do here is make a tenon on this side right here, and turn it around and do that shape that I just did on this piece, for this piece right here. I don't know. I need a cameraman, somebody to help me in here. But that's my plan, is to take this thing, turn it down a little bit to where it'll fit into here. I don't have to turn it all the way down to the bottom. what I'm going to do is turn it down enough. Spiders. Woo. This is a piece of mesquite. Let's see. Now I know I'm not square at all. It's 2 1/4 inches there, 180 away. I'm a 1/4 inch off. But the face of this is pretty square. I'm just going to go ahead and do it the way it is. It's cut out around, is why it looks so bad. Now let's see. I will go ahead and mount this. I just sold a chuck plate to a guy on one of the turning sites that I belong to. I used to supply this Allen wrench right here. I gotta get my thing here. I used to supply this Allen wrench right here. It's an 1/8 inch. I think it's made by Bondus, and it's an 1/8 inch with a ball on the end. Well, typical Tucson. Somebody will order 2, 3, 4, 500 of these things, and then when they run out of them, that's it. You can't get any more. And I don't really find too much wrong with this, other than on my Powermatic lathe. On my other lathe, I had all kinds of room. This one right here, I can't even get in to the screw head. Let's see, I'll go down to here. You can see that right there. When the screw is backed out, this is too long. Fortunately, the ball will work, but it's at a position that it's right at its extreme. So I started supplying those bits, and I haven't been able to find a shorter Allen wrench. If I could get an Allen wrench that was 1 inch shorter than this one, or maybe even 1.5 inches shorter than this one, we would all not have any issues at all with the chuck plate, only because of the lathe that you're using. Most of them, you will not have an issue with that long Allen wrench bolt or Allen wrench tool, but I can't find them in Tucson. So, and I can't really find them in online that I really paid any attention to, and I probably should, because I'm trying to sell people tools, and if you don't want to supply the hardware with it, you ought to quit. So I will get better stuff. Those screwdriver, or those bits, those little 1/4 inch bits that I send with the chuck plates right now, that's a Bondus tool also, but it's really bad news. I thought they would have a section that would have a length to it. Let's see if I can find mine. I got one around here somewhere, and I'm not going to find it there. I don't know where it is. Damn it. There's so much junk in here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up a few of these. And the only reason it seems to be taking a lot of time is I'm talking while I'm doing this, and I shouldn't be doing it. And I'm going to bring the camera over and show you what I've done. I'm not even going to go into this over here because that screw's not long enough. There's just so much way in bug tracks, bug droppings, swarf, whatever you want to call it. That particular Allen wrench that I was using is about 6 years old, and I think it's worn out. I should probably toss it, but boy, you just don't toss tools no matter how bad they get. Okay, I am done tightening. I'm going to bring the camera over so you can see what I've done. And I gotta get the cords. I got 3 cords on this camera. That all has to be looked out for. Here it is. This is what it looks like. That is secure. Now what I'm going to do is put a tenon on this side, turn it around, shape this side to fit the ID of this, and then just show you that it works. I'll do some more work on the bottom over here, or maybe I'll remove some of that tenon, and then I'll go back to using my chuck plate thing, and then I'll use the tailstock steady. Okay, my RPM right now is, I'd say I'm pretty close to 1,000 probably. I'm up too high, I'm bouncing. I'm using my Thompson bowl gouge. I'm pretty aggressive. Well, that ain't cutting. I'm getting real close to being round, so getting into good solid wood, so the tool is dull. Okay. Okay, I'm round. So I'm going to go ahead and make my tenon. I don't know what my RPM is. It's a whole lot more than it was before. Here's 3,000 RPM. I don't know why it's making that noise. It might be embedding itself as it spins and vibrates. It's not vibrating very much. Oh, I see why. Nope, that didn't help. Oh well. Okay, use my tenon making tool, marking tool. I'm just doing this to get that sharp corner out of here. Okay. Okay, I was just checking to see what was causing all that noise that I had. Okay, my piece fits. So I can take this off, and then what I'll do is shape the top of that. And then when I get done with this thing right here, just showing you that it does work, or maybe I might use it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Or maybe I'll use both of them. Now again, I call these things future turnings because it was designated to be a turning one of these days, and because of a few cracks that's in there, I decided to hold off, and one of these days I'll probably get around to doing it, or just kind of abandon the idea and use it as a tool. Now for safety, if I wanted to, I bring up my live center again. I never screw my I never put my live center up against the turning wood. I screw it in slowly. This is some really bad stuff right here. Those bug tracks are about 3/8 of an inch deep. That's full 3,000 RPM. See if I've gotten through the bug tracks. Nope. You can see what there is right there. Man, it's just, I've exposed a bunch of them. That's fine and dandy. A little bit too high to start with here. I'm going to go back and true it up over here just because to me it's kind of obnoxious looking. I've got to sharpen my tool. Okay, you can see there's a gap right there. That has to be closed up, so I've got to take some more off of here and make that smaller. And what I've got is I got the outside shape of a bowl started. Don't get this in this way without having to take it off. Nope. Or remove this. I don't know, you can see that gap. I need to take down the OD quite a bit. Huh?
Where's my nipple?
Yeah, that nipple's coming off here in a little bit.
I know.
Okay, a little bit more, and I think I should have my fit. Really close. Right now what I've got is everything, all the pressure is located right here on the piece. That's not good because it should be at the bottom. So I'll take off some here, I'll take off a little bit more coming off of that, and I should be over here. Right here is where I think I got some hold up. Okay. Now sometimes what I'll do is, I'm going to lock it if I can. Let's see. I'll take and bring up my tailstock and get it really close. And spin it. That polishes the edge of the wood, side of the wood, and hopefully I can find where it's hitting. And this is not cooperating with me right now, I don't think. It could be right in here because I see a shiny spot along the bottom. I see here and here where it's hitting, and I knew that was, but I mean I can see that. Might help if I remove the lock. I'm going to go ahead and go for this. Man, it gets hot. Now when the lathe gets turned on, this piece had those shiny lines on it.
The light colored ones?
Huh?
The light colored ones from the...
No, when I was rubbing it like this, I was polishing it. I'm going to call that one good. And right there is center. Okay, so I'm going to use this one for a little bit, then I'm going to take this off and go back to this. I'm going to leave that nipple on there because I need it, because that's my indicator. Because if I'm going to swap from two different methods, I need it. So what I'm basically going to do is just show you how easy this gets. It's locked in there. I'm going to go 3,000 RPM. Ugh, I don't want that one. How'd that one get there? Okay. Okay, let's see. Can I get this one in there? Nope. Okay. Let's just say that this piece had to come off. I had to stop, and I had to check something out to see if it was something back here went wrong. What I would do, bring up my banjo, and with this particular banjo, I don't know if they're all like that, but this particular banjo, every time I lock it down, it wants to go towards the headstock. So I can take this, remove it. If I didn't have this nub on here and I didn't have anything on here to get this back in the way I want it, I just take this, do what I have to do, and then bring up, I'm going to put my wheels on. That's what I'm trying to say. If I wanted to, I could put my wheels on right now, because it's still centered, and it's going to be centered when I turn the lathe on. Must be getting old. I can't remember what the heck I'm trying to do, Deb. Okay, now move this, turn this back on. Where's my remote? You can look at this nub. Oh, the camera doesn't want to focus on the nub. You can see how true that's running. That looks pretty darn good to me.
Yeah, it's not jumping or anything.
No, it's doing that because of that. Now I did a turning for somebody, a kid, and I turned it up 3,000 RPM and his piece flew out, but it was on a flat plate. And I wished I hadn't have done that, because it was a 14, 15-inch African sumac piece. Anyway, there I am, and what I'm going to do is detail my bottom with my Easy Wood tool, a detail tool. And when you're removing any tenons from this piece and you got it in between those wheels, you always want to use your tool going into the headstock, not out here towards the back end. You want to be going towards the headstock because you're keeping everything tight against your jam chuck. Let's see. My detail consists of just a few rings. And then I try to make them look like a bead. Okay, for all intents and purposes, that one is done. Now, since I'm going to change, I'm going to change parts. This is, well, that's, you can see how well that held. Let's see here. It's stuck on there and there's nothing holding it on. All it's going to essentially take is just a little tap and it just falls off. The tenon is pretty much gone. And this is pretty simple. Now what I'm going to do is take this piece off because that's my future turning. And all I'm doing is trying to show two methods of how to do it. Now I'll get my chuck plate and put it back in there. And it will be more than likely just as centered as it was with the future turning. You got to make sure if you got plates and you have them laying around your shop, you keep them clean. You keep the backside clean, so when they go on, they sit flat. Okay, I've got to, since in this situation here, I still have that nub on there. I need to take this off and put my live center back in place. Now, if I was in the finished stage of this and had already removed this tenon right here, all that nub and all that stuff, I would be very hard pressed to get it back in the way it came out. So I don't normally take them off, but this was a demonstration, so I did leave the nub in place so that could happen. Show you two different methods. Chuck plate is my favorite, and mostly because I invented the chuck plate also, and this is how I do all of most of my stuff. More than likely 99% of the stuff I use or I remove tenons on, I have the chuck plate back here. The other 2% will be a future turning, which I just showed you. I'm going to get rid of this tool rest and put in another. And I only use this other tool rest here because it has that curve on it, and it allows me to get in at a better, more secure angle for me. Okay, so I don't need to do any cutting on the live center. The live center was used only to recenter this because I did take it off. So, and like I said, every time I lock down that my banjo, if I'm uptight on here, it actually causes it to go back a little bit. So my piece is in there centered. And it's not going to change until I remove that banjo. So tailstock steady goes in place. And if I wanted to use this tailstock steady, I could. It would do the same job, except my feet are out here. And it's been, I think, common knowledge throughout human history that if you got something up here and you want to support it, the further out you go, if you are even, it's going to stay secure. It's not going to come off. Okay. You can see it's just about as good as it was before I remove the live center. I'm going to go 3,000 RPM, and you want to look at your tires. You want to make sure that the flat that you see on there looks about like what your car looks like on properly inflated tires. Okay, here goes. Too high. Yeah, here goes. Let's see if I can lose it. Yeah, it came off. I can't see here. When I do footed molds, I'll usually try to put a finial in here. It's off just a tad, just a tiny, tiny bit. But like I said, it's a demo piece and I'm not going to be doing too much to it. It's going to be something that just goes on the shelf, and one day it might hit the fireplace, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to break my edge I have right here on my foot. That's not working out. Oh, I'll use my my nifty glove here. Okay, this piece is done. There's not too much more I can do to this. I mean, if I wanted to try to sell it to someone, throw it in an art gallery, of course I would be doing a whole lot more. But there's my bottom. And let me get a tight zoom. Come on. There's my bottom. You can see that there's some tool work that needs to be done, but that's no big deal. Like I said, this is a demo. My wife wants it. She can have it. And let's see, the chatter. You can see some tear out right down here. You can see an ugly finger. You look at my hand, you can see a lot of ugly stuff. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Here you go, hun. So that concludes my demo of my
I
stuff.
came in like this.
Oh, you're not in there yet.
Oh, good.
Okay, I'm done.